And I find ambition tied to Dharma. And historically, it's not necessarily. It's convoluted in a way of like, how do you live the best life? How do you fulfill your duties, right? And how do you even know what your duties are? And I was like, we just need a rewrite on this. Like, we need something that's really applicable to people that want to make a difference in the world, and they don't want to sacrifice themselves in the process. I mean, they want to sacrifice their egos. They don't want to sacrifice their kidneys or their, right? Or their thyroid gland is what it is for many people. So how is there an easier way that Ayurveda just naturally points to that kind of ties everything together in a way that is very easy for anyone to understand? And what I found was that, I was raised as a typical analytical Westerner. But I learned Ayurveda, and I was still somewhat in my like formative brain years. And having that kind of like direct connection with the elements made all the difference. Like, I'm able to learn from the earth and the sky and the fire and the water and the air, right? Because I've been trained to. Other people are naturally brought up in the system of that. And I found that if people could just reconnect with those elements, which are they powers or are they elements? Are they like fixed or are they in action? Are they forces? Was a really big question that kept coming up in the book. But the way I use them, I use the elements as forces, the force of earth, right? The force of fire. And just looking at how this intersected with the massive transformations that I was making in my own life. So when I discovered, like Marie Kondo and just did that process to the nth degree, like it did change my life. And what I found was that it was much easier to intuit vision. It was much easier to see more clearly who I was becoming next, like, and where Dharma was opening up, right? Like with clarity of like, there, that way. In Tantra, which was part of my yoga philosophical studies, and I studied classical before Tantra, like Tantra's really dialed into the intelligence of desire. Like what you want, that's like 5 layers deep. Like not the like, I want a donut, right? But like what you really, really, really want, that's intelligence. Now, in my enlightenment studies, that was post-tantric, around evolutionary enlightenment, integral enlightenment, that those schools of thought, the whole integral community, the integral philosophy, spiral dynamics, all those things, they point to that there's a ground of being and an evolutionary impulse. Now, the thing about the evolutionary impulse is there's an urgency to it. Like you want what you want now. And if you wait, something often detrimental happens. Like you lose touch with the desire. And that's what I found was just so common in the people I was coaching, is they would not let themselves want what they wanted with the urgency that that's built into the evolutionary impulse. It's like, you can't separate the evolutionary impulse and urgency. They don't come apart. So when you start to really honor who you want to become next, when you let yourself want what you want now and you take action on it, that changes everything. And that's really where this book came from, is like, how do we make that easier? Now, when you want what you want and you take action on it with urgency, it doesn't mean it's going to go well, right? Because that's just a perception. Like that's just you evaluating what's good and bad, which is so subjective. It's not even funny, which is why there's like 2,000 years of ancient text on that. Like, don't get attached to what happens. Get curious about what's happening. Get curious about how the river bends next. And so when you meet an obstacle, now you're in water element, you meet an obstacle, it's like, unless you're just like, how's the water going to get around the obstacle? Like, where's flow opening up? It's gonna, like, that's where you meet your maker. That's reckoning day. That's where like any shadow issue that's getting exposed right now, it's coming up for a reason. That's churn. Like something's churning in the hydraulics. What's it spitting to the surface? And if you can deal with that and you can process that through your breath work, through through taking a walk in the woods, through looking in the mirror, right? The self-reflection and saying like, oh, that's what's getting churned up right now. It's not the first time. It's never the first time, ever. Right? Ever. And you're like, maybe it's the last time. And if you have that attitude, things are going to go into flow. If you don't have that attitude, you're going to deal with the repercussions of shadow issues, which are not really that much fun to do again and again and again. Because it's like, it basically that equals drama. So it's either flow or drama. Your choice every time. And then it just keeps going. So it's iterative. Like the whole process of the elements and the whole process of like pursuing ambition and growing and changing and like achieving what does happen. And I've seen it enough times in my life to be like, whoa, is it goes beyond your wildest dreams. Like you cannot actually dream of what will happen. And I'm in a process with that. I can't actually give you any of the details with it to protect the energy of it. But like stuff happens that you're like, it makes perfect sense. And I didn't even know. Like I didn't know I could receive a gift that large. It's like that. That's exactly what I wanted, but I didn't even really know that's what I wanted because I just didn't allow myself the perception of having that, of experiencing that reality of becoming what that will demand of me next. And that's sort of how it works. And there's good words for it, from the East. Like we have words like guru, which is this like, it's this density of potentiality. It's where you can take the potential energy of the universe and you can condense it into reality. So you get to be able to do that at greater and greater levels. And to me, that's really where Master of You, that's really where it ends. That's really where it points. And you only get there through iterations. You never get it the first time. Don't even try. It's like bodythrive. You don't get the habits the first time you read the book. It's a practice. It's like and that's what all of yoga is it's saying like, guess what? Your natural tendencies aren't this. So practice. And when you discipline yourself or you become a disciple of the practice, that's where you get traction.